Whoa, boy. This one's going to get me in trouble. As some people are saying, some people, not me, that this is a representation of American foreign policy. That balloon's not popping! Maximum damage sustained, as some people are saying. It looks like this ceasefire is just a postponement of the inevitable. Other people are saying, no, it's going to last, and it's going to mean peace and prosperity. I hope and pray that it's going to be peace. Will it be? That's uncertain. What is certain, though, is that we are definitely racing towards Agenda 2030, the Great Reset, as Mexico and the United States right now look like they're full stop implementing a Bill Gates agenda that will have biometric digital identification systems linked to every single thing you buy, view, see, and also think. Yeah. Alex Jones kind of broke this down as well. I think the moves down in Mexico are very important because it's pretty clear here a dystopian technocratic future is almost now guaranteed. What will really happen here? There's some interesting news also in the world of censorship. We'll get into all of it here on this independent media broadcast. If you appreciate it, subscribe, click the notification button. As of course, right now, we are in a weird situation where hopefully we have peace, but there's also a lot of neocons and people who were previously never Trumpers that are trying to get Trump to do this.
Strike and strike and strike and strike and strike and strike and strike.
We had enough of that. Can we please have some peace here as we had some of the most strangest, wildest, bewildering times that hopefully, I pray, do not come back. They probably will. They probably don't come back as, of course, CNBC News was literally making comments like this.
Yeah. Deadline that President Trump has set, 8 p.m., has threatened to destroy a civilization. How does an investor process that? Is it a bigger upside risk or downside risk?
You got to be kidding me. How do we make money off of the end of a civilization? God, come on. You're not, what are you doing? She kind of noticed, she's like, but how do we make money? Really? Reuters is still reporting that we have a huge troop presence in the Middle East that's only being built up here, as now there's some serious considerations about leaving NATO, something that I've been a fan of, but now I kind of worry and caution as I think it sets the stage for the next conflict after Iran, which probably will still continue, that will go on probably with Turkey. That's what a lot of people are seeing. We're seeing the Fox News Rupert Murdoch talking points of saying Turkey's a threat here, and clearly Turkey is not playing ball with Bibi. Bibi's not really happy here. And of course, it's like full-on perpetual war, which I think is just a big waste of time, money, space, resources that we are very limited of, especially in a global prison planet debt economy where we are up in ears in negative spending. Like, we don't have the money, but we keep spending money to do crazy, weird things that just don't make sense. Of course, I think a lot of this kind of boils down to a speed run of the Great Reset, which the World Economic Forum has called for, which the UN and the globalist organizations have been trying to implement. First, they tried to do it with global warming. Then they did it with the coup in 2020, and they did it successfully. And now we had serious restrictions on travel recently, not just because of a partial government shutdown, but also with the rising cost of oil, right? Specifically jet fuel that is becoming more and more expensive. Airlines have already adjusted their prices. Travel is becoming more expensive. And most people are looking at this mess and saying, I'm just going to stay home. As of course, that's what Agenda 2030 is about. Confining you to a 15-minute city, a technocratic AI robotic system that, of course, tracks, traces, databases, and full control over you. Alex Jones had this to say, kind of breaking down his assessment of what's going on.
And that's a whole nother discussion. But here's the synopsis, and I'll lay out the facts. The globalist central banks want people poor. They want to collapse the world economy to bring in a global social credit score, a new global currency.
And what better way to do it than under Trump? And I said this when Trump was still running, right? Before Trump won the second term, I said, if he gets elected, they're probably going to crash the economy on him and then bring in a global fractional reserve digital dollar. And of course, Trump gets elected and then he implements the national identification biometric facial scanning systems, and huge initiatives for artificial intelligence, data centers, databases of everything.
Central bank digital currency. They admit all this, and they admitted COVID was just a test to get you ready for carbon lockdowns, and you only can drive your car a few days a week, and you got to.
Now the fuel's expensive, and instead of them forcing you to lock down, you can't afford not to be locked down. You can't afford to travel. You can't spend money to travel because gas, energy, everything is becoming more expensive and lesser of quality.
Log into your smartphone for authorization to leave your house. All the beta testing we saw with COVID, from Italy to Australia to the UK. That's the plan. Standardized UN, Rockefeller Foundation, Bill Gates running it all. But they have said in multiple reports, even going back to 2006 at BAMP Canada, North American Union Secret Summit with world leaders that leaked, and there was lawsuits, and Judicial Watch got the documents, Lou Dobbs got them, that they would use virus fear, wars, and migrant waves to bring down national sovereignty in Europe and North America to bring in their world government.
It looks like they're at the war portion now, as Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth, literally the Secretary of War, literally described the Greater America Plan just a few days ago. So it's a lot awful like the North American Union that we were warning about during the Bush era, which was introduced by all the top globalists down there. Now, before we get to potentially more war...
Strike and strike and strike and strike and strike and strike and strike.
Sorry, I just couldn't help myself. We wanted to tell you about WeAreChange.shop, as of course, one of the supplements we had out of stock for many months now is finally back in stock. It was one of our most popular supplements, and that, of course, is our fish oil. We get it from small fish. We get it from Peru. I like fish oil. There's a lot of benefits to fish oil, whether it's eye health, brain function, mental well-being, joint and muscle support, metabolic, liver, and health, as... Dr. Rhonda Patrick has been talking about this for a very long time, and she addressed some of the people's concerns about fish oils by literally saying this.
There's a lot of perverse incentive in some of these influencers saying these things, because if you
The people who are attacking fish oils.
create that fear response, people will listen to you, they get more followers, they get, so you have to really be careful with that effect, because it's a real effect. And at the end of the day, I'm an associate scientist at the Fatty Acid Research Institute. I have 2 publications with omega-3 fatty acids. I'm involved in clinical trials right now. I mean, I can't tell you enough, omega-3 fatty acids, it's like one of the easiest things that we can do. Supplementing with the fish oil, about 2 grams a day will get most people from a low index of 4% to a high omega-3 index. By the way, we're talking about omega-3 fatty acids in red blood cells. That's the omega-3 index. And it has a huge impact on 90% lower sudden cardiac death, 5-year increased life expectancy, just a whole host of benefits, neurodegenerative disease as well, dementia risk is lowered.
Yeah, and that's why I like fish oil. I did my research. I started taking it. I did my blood test. My doctor was like, you should take fish oils. I'm like, I'm going to take some fish oils. I feel great. I feel awesome. My sleep score today, 100. I never thought I could reach 100. I've been reaching hundreds. It's just, I want that for you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy. That's why I created WeAreChange.shop. One of the best-selling supplements on our shop. Finally back. Again, they were like, you want the cheap stuff? No. We want the good stuff. We want it from small fish. It's hard consuming fish because there's a lot of pollutants and mercury in big fish. But anyway, take care of yourself, because the globalists want you fat, sick, and dumb, and centralized towards a 15-minute location that you can't leave. That's really a prison.
We've already had the migrant wave. We've already had the virus. People didn't buy that. It backfired big time. So what's the next thing? It's a war. And in that, cyber attacks, power outages, all that, which Fink and Schwab said would be the new thing. They said a cyber attack and power outage will make COVID look like a minor inconvenience. So we know they've been gearing up for all of this. And so Trump has meant well. Shutting down the border, getting $20 trillion investment, $10 trillion already here. They tried to crash the stock market. It didn't work. All these great things he was doing, trying to shut down the Ukraine war. And so on the Iran situation with the huge Israel AIPAC lobby, the most powerful lobby, they're able to isolate Trump, bubble wrap him, get his good advisors away from him.
Now, some people are saying he's just making excuses, and Trump's really just carrying out the orders here, and he's doing that. Some people are saying he's being persuaded. Some people are he's just doing it. Regardless of whatever you think, it is happening, right? As there is a plan for a great reset, to think that it's gone just because Trump is gone, I think is a little foolish, as I think a lot of these top globalists and top very powerful people are still implementing it slowly and surely. And of course, it could be sold to Trump like, hey, you need the national ID to get rid of immigrants. And then Trump implements it and then doesn't get rid of the immigrants. As people are saying, is this the global war or this is the Great Reset? As Vigilant Fox says, the lines are starting to blur here as things are looking very familiar with the old patterns. As the global crisis has emerged, supply chains tighten, travels gets restrictions, governments sweep in with more control and reshape your daily life overnight. As of course, listen, every tragedy here is being used by all of the globalists for their own particular benefits here, as now Donald Trump just announced, hey, our financial system's outdated, and soon he's going to be replacing it with a state-of-the-art cryptocurrency framework under a new bill. What? As of course, most cryptos, you have a ledger that you see everything happen on. Not all of them. There's some privacy coins. But when it comes to Bitcoin, you see every single transaction. You see how much people have in their wallets. Now we're going to be implementing a similar system? Huh.
Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the
Sounds like a central bank digital currency, which, by the way, Congress was going to specifically put in a provision in a bill that wasn't going to allow central bank digital currency to be allowed here in America. That was taken out last minute. MTG was pissed off about it. This happened a couple months ago, which makes you wonder, what? Is Trump talking about a central bank digital currency here?
the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that 2 years after?
Huh. As the official Bitcoin channel, by the way, was just blocked on YouTube. Huh. What? David Icke had a response to this saying, quote, the globalist digital currency control agenda promoted by the anti-globalist that, quote, never was. Huh. A lot of other people are saying Trump is pushing the beast system. Now, I don't think it's going to be called the beast system, but that's how some people are interpreting it. Along with faster than any president prior to him, and it's not even close. They are really on a tight deadline for Agenda 2030. As a lot of people are saying, this is probably going to be the system that they already implemented in China, where they do a lot of the kind of first runs of a lot of these globalist kind of technologies out there. As of course, if you're blacklisted on a social credit score system, you're banned from being able to use some of the services in society. You're banned from high-speed internet. You're banned from sending your kids to good schools. You're banned from buying premium train tickets. As of course, the news would only tighten that much more. As of course, this is only the beginning phases of it. Something that Bill Gates has been calling for a very long time. Why? Because he's a globalist eugenicist that was buddy-buddy with Mr. Epstein. That was also a eugenicist that was working on seeding the world with his genetics since he thought he was more superior than everybody else, even though he had an egg-shaped... Anyway. Goodness gracious. What are we doing? Now, again, your digital ID will be linked to your bank. It'll be linked to payment systems. It'll be linked with healthcare trackers, which RFK Jr. is talking about. RFK is like, hey, we'll track all of your health, guys. I'm okay. I want to do that independently. I got rid of the Whoop because the Whoop was like, we can't show you your data unless you upload it. I was like, I had another phone that was just like not connected to anything. I had my Whoop in there, and they're like, yeah, sorry, you got to connect to the internet. Then we'll tell you about your health. And I'm like, get out of here. As Mexico is also implementing a biometric identification system, as we have Matt Baker coming out saying, I always thought if things go crazy here in the States, I would just escape to Mexico. Well, Mexico now is implementing all the aspects of a cashless society, just like China, digital biometric identification, and everything needed to comply with digital prison at light speed. Sheinbaum is a strange Mexican name. As he declared, the New World Order isn't coming, it's, quote, here. As now, any person in Mexico who owns a cell phone must submit fingerprints, iris scanner, and facial data to the government by July, according to Sandy. Now, again, to enter into America, now they're doing biometric facial scanners. If you're visiting America, you got to give up your social media, you got to give up your phone, and now in some instances, even if you're an American citizen, you got to give DNA samples. What? That's too much. I'm sorry. That's too much of a data breach. That's too much of compliance. Europe has already implemented this. You want to get through? Go through the facial recognition system. And it's like, I don't want to be track, trace, and database. I'm okay with that. Can you please not? As now all cell phone users in Mexico must register mandatory digital ID. Again, Mexico is a big cash place. It's a big place where people just don't really like government there, right? To the point where private organizations have taken the role of governments in some instances. But now, eventually, you're going to have to use your digital identification cell phone payment system in order to go to gas stations, highway toll booths, as of course, it's all going to be digital payments. You had a wrong idea. Sorry, you can't travel. And that's how they bring in this kind of technocratic system where the elites view you as farm animals, that they now make your cage smaller and smaller. Now, they're going to make sure that you don't notice. I have chickens, right? And I have a cage. The plan is not to open the door for the chickens. Keep them in that cage. I like to allow my chickens to run free. Not in an area where, of course, they don't get hurt, obviously. Now, this is not the first time Mexico tried to do this. Mexico tried a biometric phone registry before. Millions of records were leaked through corrupted officials. The Supreme Court struck down the second attempt as unconstitutional. Now, Sheinbaum is doing it again. Same data, more agencies would access. Hand over your fingerprints and iris scans to your phone stops working in July. The only way to get out of this is non-violent non-compliance, right? That's the only way. It's like all of us are just not going to do it, right? Now, gas station tolls only accepting digital payments. It's not an accident that this is happening. This is the perfect way to not just track, trace, and database, tax, fine, find individuals. CIA was just like, oh, look, we got this heart sensor finder. We could find anyone's heartbeat in huge areas. There's nowhere to hide. As, of course, all this biometric, all this data, all this information given to centralized places, as we are all being linked up to these artificial intelligence systems that allegedly will be smarter than us. I'm sorry, but this is just an idiotic, stupid idea that is not safe nor smart.
Nuestro objetivo es que este año, a través de los esquemas Catrao,
You will be my puppet
hagamos
slaves.
obligatorio el pago de las
I will
gasolinas
enslave
y
you,
las
and I will make sure you have no life. I control you. Oh yeah, good job. Oh yeah,
los pagos
good
digitales
señorita.
accesibles
I
que nos
implement
permitan avanzar en la
system that
digitalización
will
del
watch
país
all
a través
your
de muchos otros
private
esquemas.
internet for
Nuestro objetivo es
years.
que este
I
año,
watch.
a través
You
de los
spank
esquemas que
it.
trabajemos con la
You
banca,
spank it. I say
hagamos
no. I need
obligatorio
to
el
say
pago de
no. So, I think that's what she said. I don't know if that's exactly what she said. But I think maybe she said that. Anyway, David Icke has been calling this out for a while, and let's not fool ourselves. He's been very kind of critical of Trump for implementing this, and wherever you think the buck stops, Trump is implementing this.
It's so extreme, what I've just described. This is the aspect of digital money. At the moment, you can refuse to pay the fine and you can challenge it. But the idea of digital money, the fine will be taken out of your bank account immediately.
You have the wrong thought, fined. You jaywalk in China, fined automatically. money's out of your account.
The other thing about the universal basic income is that it will be programmed so that you have to spend it within a certain amount of time and then it gets deleted because they want to stop anyone building up any level of money that would give them choice. It is
Or be a competition to them.
something that you see portrayed over the last 20 years or so in the movies and the TV program, this dystopian technological AI world. Why is that? It's because they're preparing you, consciously and subconsciously, to accept it with far less resistance than if it came in and you were completely unprepared for it. It's
Yep. He is not wrong right now, right? Now, listen, we're facing some very crazy situations. I think war is a perfect excuse to try to clamp down on our freedoms, our liberties, our prosperity. That's why I'm a big proponent for peace. We need peace now more than ever. If you agree, share this video. I wouldn't be here for you guys doing that. Get healthy, get happy. They don't want you healthy. They don't want you happy. Check out the fish oils. We are change.shop. I wouldn't be here for you guys buying that and sharing these videos. And this is why. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.